everyone, it's RetroGamingNow, and I am here with Fate, the original game. And today we're going to be talking about the cheats. And this is something that I'm sure most of you already know how to do. But there are probably some people who haven't heard of this or don't know how to use it. So, Fate comes in with a built-in cheating console, and obviously you can use it for whatever you wish. I don't use it when I'm playing a game because it makes it a lot less fun, but if you need, like, say, get a character at a high level to try out an item or try something new, then this would be a good place to use it. So, in order to get the cheating console, there's a certain key combination you have to hit, and it's Ctrl+Shift and tilde. If you don't know what tilde is, it's a little squiggly line right underneath the escape key. So if you hit Ctrl+Shift and tilde, then a little question mark shows up on the side. You can see it over here. And this is where you type in commands. So in this video we're going to go through all the commands and talk about how they work and what they might be useful for. So the first command is pretty simple. We can type in experience.
Your pet has grown more skilled.
And by typing that experience in, you get 5,000 experience points. So you can see I leveled up to level 2. So I can put those wherever I want. Similarly, if I do Ctrl+Shift tilde and type in level up,
you have gained in experience,
then I'm going to level up. So it does a similar sort of thing, except this time it's a flat level up, because as time goes on, 5,000 flat experience isn't as much. So level up is a lot more useful. Another one we can also do is fame. So if I type in fame, I gain 1,000 fame. In this case was enough to get me to the next level. And if I were to do it again, I would get to the next level. But just like experience, 1,000 fame slowly becomes worth less and less as time goes on. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, let's say I needed to get lots of levels at once, because typing in level up is going to be really slow and really painful. Well, if I need to get quickly to a high level, Ctrl+Shift tilde and type in God,
you have gained in experience,
and that's going to give me 10 levels, and my pet is going to get 8 levels. So that's pretty useful, and you can use that a couple times, as many as you need, if you need to get a lot of levels really quickly. Now, another thing you can do is you can do Ctrl+Shift and tilde to type in gold. And you can see down at the bottom that gave me 500,000 gold pieces. So with 500,250 gold, I can probably purchase just about anything I need to. Another thing is, let's say you're in combat and your health is low and your mana is running out. You can do Ctrl+Shift tilde and type in heal. And it heals you up. You can see I got healed up all the way. Now, those are pretty much the ones that are most useful in town. There's some other ones that we can see in the dungeon. And in fact, using this cheat console, we don't even have to go over there. We can do Ctrl+Shift tilde and type in descend. And that is going to allow us to descend to the dungeon floor. And similarly, if we need to go back the other way, we can do Ctrl+Shift tilde and type in ascend. And we're going to ascend back into town. So those are pretty useful if you need to get in and out really quickly. However, they're a little bit more useful because I can type in Ctrl+Shift tilde, descend to, and that's going to drop me 2 levels in the dungeon. So I'll drop right into level 2 with this command. And you can see we're now on level 2. So that's pretty useful and pretty nice. There's a couple of other useful things we can do once we take out this nocturne fungus. If I do Ctrl+Shift tilde and type in discover all as one word, and then open up my map, sorry it wasn't open, you can see it shows everything on the map. So it's pretty similar to like the mental map spell. That's basically what it does. Now there's a couple of other things you notice. My pet's attacking these rats, and there's all these stars going up where there should be blood. So there's actually a command to make it so that it shows blood instead of stars if that's something you want to see. So if I do Ctrl+Shift tilde and type in blood, then that's going to activate the blood. And I think part of the reason they show stars is, just to probably keep the game's rating a little lower. And I know some places like Germany, at least when this game was released, weren't allowed to show blood. So I'm not sure if that's still true, but that's how it was at one point. So for this to take effect, we need to go to a different floor so we can ascend. We could have used our ascend command. And it's not going to work for this topaz gel because it doesn't really have blood. But if we find something like a bat or something like that, let's walk a little bit. Okay, well that has green blood. I promise it works. You know what? I might as well just take this as a time to show you something else you can do. You can actually summon enemies. So I can do Ctrl+Shift+ and I can type in bat. And there's a bat. And you can see it's red blood there. Now this Ctrl+Shift+ to summon enemies, interestingly enough, also works with pets. So I can do Ctrl+Shift+ and I can type in cat. And a cat spawns. And I can also do Ctrl+Shift+ and you'd think dog would work, but it's not. You have to type in terrier. Terrier. And a terrier spawns. And you can see they're going to attack any enemies they see. Now they're not going to follow you around. They're kind of just doing their own thing. But they are on your side. And one thing that's kind of interesting and actually kind of sad is they can actually die. So if I were to spawn a high level enemy, so I'm going to spawn a fire drake, which this terrier is not going to do a good job at surviving probably. So I'll sit here and you can see the fire drake is taking some damage from my pet, but this terrier's not doing so hot and he's going to die. And he's dead, and you can see instead of fleeing, they actually just straight up die. Now, I've put myself in a situation where I don't want to be, so I'm just going to go ahead and type send to go back to town. So there you go. That's kind of something kind of interesting. You can actually spawn monsters, and you can spawn dogs and cats, but furthermore, you can actually spawn people like Bartleby. So if I wanted to, I can do Ctrl+Shift+ and type in Bartleby. And there he is. Now, he doesn't work. It doesn't count as a merchant, but he's still there. Now, one thing that I should point out is Bartleby is actually going to be here forever. So even if I save and exit the game and continue, Bartleby will be standing right there. And there is no way to get rid of him, unfortunately. So just a heads up with that. Now, we saw we can spawn enemies, we can spawn neutral people, we can spawn helpful people, we can also spawn items. So I could type in hatchet. And there's a hatchet there if I wanted to upgrade from this to this. I can type that in there. In fact, you can even do elite and legendary items. So I can do there's no such thing as an elite hatchet, but I can do an elite giant axe. And there's an elite giant axe, and so it comes with the stats, and it's better off, but requires, you can see it requires some fame. And of course it works for legendary too, so I could type in legendary giant axe. It also works for spells, so if I want fireball spell, I can pick up a fireball spell just like that. But furthermore, you can also spawn entities, and by entities I mean things like a Fountain of Wellness or something like that. So if I want to, I can spawn Fountain of Wellness. And there it is, and I can go ahead and use that and heal up. We can also spawn things such as magic anvils.
Will you tempt fate?
And if we choose to tempt fate, got some unique powers. So that's pretty cool. And this also works for Shrines of Learnings and also my personal favorite, Fate statues.
Will you tempt fate?
And we've
Your pet has fled.
summoned a powerful, kind of powerful enemy, which dies pretty quickly. So there's that. We can actually also summon things like chests, so I can do chest. The problem is they're never going to have anything in them, because to have something in them they need to have spawned naturally in the world. Or like urn. Ooh, it's clay urn. So we get to break it, but really not too useful. Now, there's another thing we can do. So I told you that typing in gold gives us 500,000 gold, but as you start to get higher and higher levels, 500,000 gold ends up not being all that much. So you can actually spawn rare items. So for example, a low-level rare item would be Gull's Disc. So I click that Gull's Disc is going to spawn, and I can pick that up and I can identify it if I want to. So I can't prove this for sure, but I'm pretty sure this is the way you can make the most money off of rare items. So remember, we can do elite and legendary items. So I can summon this, a legendary faux cannibal. Legendary faux cannibal. Oops. Must have spelled something wrong. Faux. There it is. And if we go ahead and identify this, it's going to be worth about 12 million gold.
Well, I've got plenty for sale, so I do,
And I believe 12.7 million, I believe this is the most gold you can get from an item. I could be wrong about that. If somebody else knows of one that's worth more, please tell me in the comments below, but I believe that's the best. And so that's pretty much it for the cheating console. I don't think I forgot anything. But there is one other thing which doesn't really have to do with the cheating console. It's actually more of a fishing tip. And this is, I would say this is maybe more of a glitch or an oversight. So normally when you have to go fishing, you put it in the water and you wait for a bite and set the hook. And the bite's going to come eventually. And when it does, you click set hook and you see what type of fish you got. Of course, I get a rare item on my first fish. Actually, this is the same rare item I got in my top 10 funniest rare items. That's really funny, actually. Anyway, that aside, there's a better way to go fishing if you want. You can do set hook, and then press the H key. And so the H key brings up the help menu. So this sort of pauses the game, but not quite, actually. So there's something that still happened, and you can see what happened there. You can still scroll in or out. And the fishing timer continues. So once that happens, you can hit H and click really quickly, and you have a very high chance of catching your fish. And so this is a way if you needed to take a break, or you just want a consistent way of catching the fish. You can do it this way. I suppose one thing I should mention, I'm pretty sure the Steam version of this game has achievements. I don't have the Steam version, but if you cheat, it's going to disable achievements, and I think it'll probably give you a warning about that, so that's just a heads up. Anyway, I think that just about does it. Those are all the cheats in the game, the ones that are useful at least, and if I do Ctrl+Shift+, remember that's going to spawn it. So, this has been RetroGamingNow, telling you something probably all of you already know about cheats and Fate. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day.